capítulo. Puta, estamos con el capítulo 17 de Mass Effect. Simón, casi, obviamente, sí. Si no había visto. 17, secundario, principal, no hay nada bien. Hay algo, tengo hueva a leer, así que me lea.
Large ship mobility dominates space combat. The primary objective is to align the mass accelerator along the bow with the opposing vessel's broadside. Battles typically play out as artillery duels, fought at ranges measured in thousands of kilometers, though assaults through defended mass relays often occur at knife fight ranges, as close as a few dozen kilometers. Most ship-to-ship engagements are skirmishes between patrol vessels of cruiser weight and below, with dreadnoughts and carriers only deployed in full-scale fleet actions. Battles in open space are short and often inconclusive, as the weaker opponent typically disengages. Once a ship enters FTL flight, the combat is effectively over. There are no sensors capable of tracking them, or weapons capable of damaging them. The only way to guarantee an enemy will stand and fight is to attack a location they have a vested interest in, such as a settled world or a strategically important mass relay.
Vale, secundario, naves, vehículos, nave. Esto ya lo había leído. Resistencia en combate. El calor limita la duración y la intensidad de los combates nave contra nave. Las naves espaciales generan enorme cantidad de calor al disparar sus armas de gran energía, al maniobrar y al tener en funcionamiento la electrónica de combate. En combate las naves de guerra producen más calor. Pueden disipar y cuando esto aumenta en una nave las zonas se van volviendo cada vez más incómodas antes de que el calor llegue a niveles selectables. Las naves deben ganar o retirarse a velocidad MR después de una huida MRL. Las naves, todos los sistemas no esenciales, se activa todo el equipo de radiación de calor. Radiaciones. La resistencia en combate depende del diseño de la nave y de la ubicación de la batalla. Las batallas en el profundo frío del espacio interestelar pueden durar algo más, pero los enfrentamientos cercanos a una estrella son bastante breves, como los mundos habitables suelen estar cerca de unas batallas que desarrollan sobre ellos son frenéticas. ¿Cuál era? Gestión de calor, fragatas y esta madre, no. Tema de calor, dispersión de calor generado por los canales de fuerza, déjame solo por los sistemas de abordo. Es un aspecto crítico para una nave si no puede disipar el calor. La tripulación puede cocerse dentro de su casco. La única manera de transferir el calor al vacío de la radiación. La nave civil emplean unos radiadores por paneles grandes y frágiles, lo que se resulta imposible acoplar a un blindaje. La nave de guerra disipan el calor mediante sistemas de radiadores difusores SRD exteriores del casco blindado. Estos radiadores hacen que las naves parezcan tener bandas y se ven con sensores térmicos. Como la distribución de las bandas depende de la configuración interna de la nave, los patrones de cada unidad son únicos y las naves más antiguas, las bandas SR pueden ponerse en rojo o el blanco por el calor. Los humanos la llaman rayas de tigre o pinturas de guerra. Estas tienen un efecto psicológico importante sobre los piratas y las tropas irregulares. Los radiadores por bandas no son tan ineficientes como los paneles, pero si resultan dañados por el fuego enemigo, la nave solo pierde una pequeña porción de su capacidad de acción total. En la mayoría de los casos, un único SRD de una nave permite moverse a velocidades de crucero, aunque las operaciones cercanas a un sistema solar pueden resultar problemáticas. Una nave enzarzada en combate puede producir cantidades enormes de calor causadas por las y las armas y disparar. Cuando se combate en entornos muy cálidos, las naves de guerra usan radiadores de goteo de alta eficacia. En un sistema de goteo hay tanques de sodio y litio líquidos que absorben el calor de la nave y el líquido se expulsa en forma de spray por la proa de la que crea una rociada de millones de gotas microscópicas que pueden ser recogidas en la popa y reciclarse de vuelta al sistema. Un sistema de goteo puede disipar entre 10 y 100 veces más calor que las bandas SRT. La rociada de gotas recuerda a la estela de una nave de superficie en el agua que se ve descancarrillando cuando se hacen giros bruscos, y ya que al cambiar el vector de la nave se pierde el refrigerante que ve quedando atrás. Vale, misiones tenemos, tareas, vamos a hacer las tareas estas que tenemos en la ciudadela. No quiero ir, bueno, pues voy a la ciudadela. Voy para la ciudadela. Tengo varias en la ciudadela. ¿Cómo estoy de virtud, güey? Eso no me sirve para ni un huevo. Vamos a los fungos de Cody Rose. Vamos a ver qué carajo tenemos. A ver. Vamos a ir a tener que hacer este. Voy a ver si lo puedo hacer. Examinar los cuidadores. Bien, dos. Mejor hago sí, mejor hago este. Bien, ya viendo esto, nos podemos ir al chorizo. Ir a hablar con la tripulación. Primero voy a hablar con el piloto. ¿Qué WhatsApp, man? ¿Cómo que eso de tu chiste?
Commander, something you need?
Ponme la nave, ¿cómo está la nave?
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be? She's the best ship in the fleet, if you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. Balance isn't what you'd expect. Takes a while to get used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average. I have to go. All right, see you.
Muy bien, vamos a ver si ya hablamos con el piloto, no nos dijo nada interesante. Sí, acá después de misión principal hay que hablar con la tripulación porque se actualizan los diálogos. Menos con la tripulación, que no es relevante, eso sí. A ver, no podemos contactar al consejo. No. Ahora sí, soy espectro. Es el único logro que tengo en mi puta vida. ¡Háblame! Soy espectro. Y aparte del logro de... ¿Qué más logro de...? ¿Qué más logro? Ni me acuerdo. Pero los juegos que he jugado... Vamos a ver, el Resident 1, así de pasarme sin morir, eso es hermoso. Más que todo el Resident 0 y el Resident 1. Esos son logros de la vida, carajo. Mejor vamos a ver cómo conmemorar los logros. ¿Qué onda, bro?
Anything you need, Commander?
Vamos a hacer táctica.
What's your opinion on the last mission? Dr. Tassoni. Seems like a sweet girl. Easy on the eyes. I
I mean, if you like the bookish sort.
Y muy bien. Muy bien, yo.
Any intentions there, Lieutenant?
No, Commander. Just art appreciation.
Ah, bueno, yo nomás estoy hablando, pero bueno. Vamos a ver si sacamos un poco de información de este
Just
parque.
trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
Is this an official evaluation, Commander? Or off the record?
Habla con libertad, desahógese.
Alenko, when it's just you and me, you can consider it off the record.
That's a generous attitude. Okay. I think there's something wrong with all this. This Saren is looking for records on some kind of galactic extinction, but we can't get backup from the Council? Sorry, Commander. There's writing on the wall here, but someone isn't reading it.
The Council doesn't want to believe anything's wrong. I'd call it human nature, but...
I hear you. It just seems like a group that's been around as long as the Council should see this coming. Sorry if I got too informed. Protocol wasn't a big focus back in Bot.
Tell me about it.
Biotic acclimation and temperance didn't last past the airlock. To the kids they hauled in, it was brain camp. Sorry, hauled in is unkind. We were encouraged to commit to an evaluation of our abilities so an understanding of biotics could be compiled. There are worse results of accidental exposure to element 0 beats the brain tumors some kids grew up with.
Is there some question about how you were exposed?
My mother was downwind of a transport crash. It was before there were human biotics, a little after the discovery of the Martian ruins. It only gets iffy around 63 when kinetics was running out of first-gen subjects. Until then, they relied on accidentals.
Muy bien.
Bunch of guys in suits show up at your door after school.
Me gusta este juego que me puedo cerrar un poco el pico y callar. Salto cero.
Jump Zero is Gagarin Station, right? What's it like?
Yeah, that's the official name. Biggest and farthest facility we had for decades. Right on the termination shock, the outer edge of the solar system. It's where they did all the Goose Chase FTL research before we caught on to using mass effect fields. It was a sterile research platform when I was there.
There were other kids in the same boat, right? At least you weren't alone out there.
That's true. We did have a little circle that'd get together every night before lights out. We didn't have much to do, though. It was a research platform. Kinetics kept Jump Zero off the extranet to prevent leaks.
Then you must have had plenty of time to get to know each other.
Yeah, we'd sit around and bowl every night after dinner and play cards or network games. There was this girl named Rana who had a little circle grow up around her. She was from Turkey. Her family was very rich, but she was smart and charming as hell. Beautiful, but not stuck up about it. I think you'd have liked her.
Sounds like she was special to you.
Yeah,
She was. Maybe she felt the same, but things never felt together. Training, you know.
Qué triste, bro.
You know of any intentional exposures for certain?
No one knows. Doesn't mean they didn't happen. As big as the exposures were, it was hard to track down accidentals. It was different then. No one knew the potential, so there wasn't a lot of regulation. Anything kinetics did was gold. I'm not saying they intentionally detonated drives over our outposts, but in retrospect, they were damn quick on the scene.
Muy bien.
Jump Zero is a long way from home. What was it like?
The grand gateway to humanity looks a lot better in the vids. But that's my own baggage, Commander. No bearing on this.
Muy bien.
Alenko, there's no regulation that says you can't be friends with your commander.
¿Eh?
I appreciate that, Commander. I just don't want you to think that I'm a whiner.
No, carnal.
Besides, I've got my past squared away.
Muy bien. El códice se actualizó. Vamos a hablar con Doc. Ah, y rellenar un poco el mendigel. What's that?
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
Vamos a sacar.
How did you end up serving on an Alliance ship?
I enlisted right out of med school. Earth always seemed boring to me. Too safe, too secure. I figured the colonies were teeming with exotic adventure. I wanted to travel the stars, tending the wounds of tough soldiers with piercing eyes and sensitive souls. Turns out military life isn't quite as romantic as I'd imagined. But humanity needs the Alliance if we want to keep expanding through the Traverse, and the Alliance always needs good doctors. So I stayed on to do my part.
Ever think you made the wrong choice?
Sometimes I think about opening a private practice back on Earth, or maybe taking a position at one of the new med centers out in the colonies. But there's something special about working on soldiers. If I left the Alliance now, I'd feel like I was abandoning them.
Muy bien, adiós.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
Ya llegó el bigote.
Commander, are you coming to check up on me?
Nada más no queremos sonar tan perro.
You look much better. How are you feeling?
Dr. Chakwas assures me I am going to be fine. I was impressed with her knowledge of Asari physiology.
Es su trabajo.
You're in good hands. Dr. Chakwas knows what she's doing.
I never properly thanked you for saving me from the Geth, Commander. If you hadn't shown up...
I'm just glad we got there in time.
So am I. I know you took a chance bringing me aboard this ship. I have seen the way your crew looks at me. They do not trust me. But I am not like Benezia. I will do whatever I can to help you stop Saren. I promise.
Muy bien, lo sé.
Don't worry, Liara. I trust you. I know you won't let me down.
It means a lot to hear you say that, Commander. Thank you.
Vamos a sacar un mango.
Do you know why Benezia joined up with Saren?
I don't understand it. She was always outspoken about the need for the Asari to become more involved in shaping galactic events. Maybe she thought allying herself with Saren would somehow be for the greater good in the long run. At least I hope so.
This hurts you, doesn't it?
None of this makes any sense to me. I have not spoken to Benezia in many years, but I know her, and this was not like her. Something changed.
I'd like to know more about the Asari.
We were the first species to discover the Citadel. We were instrumental in forming the Council, and we always strive to be the voice of peaceful cooperation in galactic disputes. My people believe we are all part of a single galactic community. Each species contributes something to the greater whole. Although we seek to understand other species, it seems few of them seek to understand us. The galaxy is filled with rumors and misinformation about my people.
Rumores, ya no
Like
oídos.
what?
Most of the inaccuracies are centered around our mating rituals. My species is monogendered. Male and female have no real meaning for us. We still require a partner to reproduce. This second parent, however, may be of any species and any gender.
I don't understand. Your species can mate with anyone?
Mating is not quite the proper term, not as you understand it. Physical contact may or may not be involved, but it is not an essential element of the union. The true connection is mental. Our physiology allows us to meld with other beings. We can touch the very depths of their minds. We explore the genetic memory of their species. We share the most basic elements of their individual and racial identities. We then pass these traits on to our daughters. It is how we learn to grow as a species and how we develop a greater understanding of other races.
What happens to your partner after the union?
Every relationship is different. Some unions are a single encounter with both parents parting ways afterwards. Others can be more long-term. Sometimes an Asari and her partner will stay together for many decades.
Do you know who Matriarch Benezia chose as her partner?
She rarely spoke of her partner. Though I know my father, if you want to use that term. was another Asari.
I thought you always needed another species to serve as one of the parents.
Think about it, Shepard. If we were not able to mate with our own species, we would have died out long before we ever mastered spaceflight and left our homeworld. Union with our own kind is no longer common, not for the purposes of reproduction. Most Asari believe it weakens our species. Asari daughters inherit racial traits from the father species. If both parents are Asari, then nothing has been gained, or so conventional wisdom would hold. I am what is sometimes called a pureblood, though no Asari would ever be cruel enough to say the word to my face. It is a great insult among my people. It is possible Benezia's partner was embarrassed by their union. She may have been too ashamed to publicly acknowledge me as her offspring.
Maybe she wanted to meet you, but couldn't. Something could have happened to her. Maybe she passed away.
¿Qué?
You might be right. I hope you are. But I have no way to know for sure. Benezia never spoke of her partner. Whatever happened, it caused her too much pain to dwell on it. She raised me by herself, though that is not uncommon. Many Asari raise their children alone, particularly if the father species is short-lived. Often the partner will pass on long before the child reaches maturity.
Muy bien. Bueno, ya, ¿y cómo que estáis?
You Asari lived for 1,000 years. What happens when your partner dies?
Few sapient species live as long as my kind. We have learned to take a philosophical approach to our unions. We do not focus on the inevitable loss of our partners. Instead, we enjoy the time we spend with them. And even after they're gone, a part of them lives on in us. The union is a connection that transcends both time and space.
Ah,
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
Chala. Vamos, actualizando el códice. Entramos en el ascensor del códice. Bueno. ¡Dale el códice! No puedo guardar. Me importa el chorizo. Que no quiero guardar. Ese es el consejo. Tecnología. Amplificadores bióticos, entrenamiento. Los amplificadores y los bióticos solo proporcionan el potencial de crear campos de efectos de masa coherentes, y el hecho de que el biótico pueda hacerlo viene determinado sobre todo por el entrenamiento. Los bióticos deben desarrollar un control consciente sobre el sistema nervioso y enviar impulsos eléctricos específicos nódulos de elemento cero que hay en sus nervios. Se les enseña a usarlos, es decir, los amplificadores mediante dispositivos de realimentación y mnemotécnica y física, determinados gestos o movimientos de los músculos. Activa la secuencia correcta de nervios para ejecutar una habilidad en concreto. Lustitis fue la pionera en el adiestramiento biótico con el programa de moderación y adaptación de bióticos. El MIAP no consiguió los resultados deseados. Muchas de las técnicas que enseñaba se sigue usando en la actualidad. Muchos grupos humanos especializados están desarrollando diferentes formas de dados bióticos. La mayoría son esfuerzos benignos para crear tropas no flexibles, mientras que otros menos conocidos por el público buscan crear superhombres rieschianos. ¿Quién sabe qué es eso? Redes lugares. Estación Gagarin. La estación Gagarin es una estación más grande que la humanidad en el espacio profundo. Es un diseño en forma de esfera de Bernal con una zona habitable de 500 metros de diámetro. Se construyó en las cercanías de Plutón a casi 80 unidades astronómicas del Sol, 12 millones de kilómetros. El transporte de obreros y material hasta ese punto arruinó a la mayoría de los patrocinadores. Gagarin está al borde del interior del heliopausa, en el punto en el que el viento solar ya no puede seguir empujando un dispositivo interestelar. Se construyó para probar diferentes principios de movimiento más rápido que la luz que deben producirse en el espacio interestelar. La estación recibió el apodo de Salto Cero, ya que estaba pensado para servir de un salto para la expansión humana por la galaxia. Poco después de que fuera completada, se descubrieron ruinas cristianas en Marte, por lo que la fuerza se dejó de lado. Después de luchar durante una década para tener alguna rentabilidad, la estación Gagarin fue vendida en 1159 a la Alianza de Sistemas por una pequeña parte de lo que costó construirla, y esta la recondicionó para que sirviera de centro de adiestramiento e investigación para el recién descubierto fenómeno biótico. En 2169, después de que se cancelara el programa de moderación y adaptación de bióticos, la estación se convirtió en un centro de investigación de su remota ubicación y su premeditado aislamiento de extranet hace que sea popular para realizar investigaciones peligrosas, sobre todo en el campo de la inteligencia artificial. La primera IA estable de la humanidad, Lisa, por la alianza, alcanzó la sapiencia en Gagarin en 2172. La estación Gagarin tiene una población permanente de unos 9000 habitantes. Se ha propuesto un plan para moverla al baricentro gravitacional estable que haya Tony alrededor de Caronte para que pueda servir como portal entre el Sol y los sistemas de Arturo. Sin embargo, los elevados gastos con seguridad tanta masa han hecho que el plan se retrase indefinidamente. Muy bien, ¿qué más había aquí? Alienígenas, especies de consejo, azar y cultura. La larga esperanza de vida de las azarias han hecho que hoy una visión a largo plazo que no es habitual en otras especies. Cuando se encuentran ante una especie nueva o una situación desconocida, se prefieren un largo periodo de observación pasiva y estudio antes de acciones inmediatas. No les preocupa que ciertas inversiones o decisiones puedan tardar décadas o siglos en ser rentables. Las decisiones de las matriarcas pueden parecer incomprensibles a ojos de las demás especies. Sus intenciones solo resultan evidentes una vez que sus cuidadosos planes se ven realizados. La relación interestelar de esta visión a largo plazo manifiesta la forma tácita de una política centrista. Los usuarios buscan instintivamente el equilibrio de los poderes económicos, políticos y militares. Adicionalmente, los Nazari han extendido su influencia mediante la dominación cultural y la intelectual. Suelen invitar a las nuevas especies desarrolladas a unirse a la comunidad galáctica con el convencimiento de que los ideales y las creencias Nazari acabarán influyendo en otras culturas. ¡Demonios! Necesito agua. Aquí no estaba. Aquí no tenía.
Though now extinct, the Asari were the first species to discover the Citadel. When the Solari... In the early 20s, when the Asari, the Elcor are the Geth, the Hanar are the Krogan evolved in a... Driven from their home system by the Geth nearly 3 centuries ago, most Quarians now live aboard the Migrant. The Volus are a member species of the Citadel with their own embassy, but they are also a client. After the threat... Combat hard suits use a dual, all modern kinetic barriers. Metagel is a... The Citadel is... The Council is an executive... Citadel space is an... Spectres are agents from the Office of... The system... Humanity's first contact with an alien race occurred in 2157. There, ferro, no, determinate. Biotics is the element zero. When subjected to an electrical, omni-tools are mass relays are an artificial, a virtual intelligence.
Ya lo leí todo aquí. Oh. No, bueno. A la compa, lo voy a comprar y todavía tengo dinero.
Looking for supplies?
Simón, dame algo.
Let's see what you've got.
You bet, Commander.
¿Cuánto tengo? Ahorita tengo 23.000. Tengo buen presupuesto, eso me gusta. Me sirve, vamos a ver. Dame esta Chrysler. Propiedad especial. La mamá de este pan de fiables suelen ser mejores. Thank you. ¿Dónde, hermano?
Commander, how are you? Why did you want to be a CSEC officer in the first place?
That's a good question. There were several reasons, I guess.
Like what?
Probably the same as most officers. I wanted to fight injustice, wanted to help people. I guess my father had something to do with it too. He was CSEC, one of the best. I grew up hearing about his accomplishments or seeing his picture on the vids after a big arrest. He's taking my resignation pretty hard.
That's tough. But you'd think he'd be impressed you're going after Sarah.
My father's a CSEC man to the bone. Do things right or don't do them at all, he says. He thinks I'm being too rash, too impatient. He's worried I'll become just like Sarah. He actually talked me out of becoming a Spectre when I was younger, for the same reasons.
You were asked to be a Spectre?
Well, I was targeted as a possible Spectre candidate, me and about 1,000 other Turian military recruits. I could have received special training, but my father didn't like it. He despises the Spectres. He hates the idea of someone having unlimited power with no accountability. He wouldn't like you, Commander. No offense.
I suppose I can understand his concern.
You can. But Saren's not going to play by our rules, CSEC's rules. If you want to nail Saren, you need to send someone who isn't restricted by policies and procedures.
Just because you can break the rules doesn't mean you should. I don't need to stoop to Saren's level to stop him. And neither do you, Garrus.
I see what you mean, but I'll think about it. Thanks, Commander.
No, tampoco hay que tirárselo, loco, hermano.
So, we've got Saren on the run.
It won't be long now. Saren's good, but I'm better.
Good. He's rotten. To the core. I could tell as soon as I met him.
Why didn't you tell me this sooner?
I would have if I thought it was important.
I think I'd like to hear about it just the same.
This was a while ago. A bunch of mercs were bragging about a job out near the edges of the Terminus systems. They said it paid well and the boss was never around to ride them. They said he was looking for more men, too. So I checked it out.
I didn't know Saren was openly recruiting mercs.
It wasn't that open, and he only showed his face once. We'd been raiding ships in the area for months when we took out this massive cargo freighter. Our biggest haul yet. I was on board checking bodies for valuables, looking for some extra credits. That's when I saw him.
What did Saren want with the ship?
I don't know what he wanted. He was just moving through the ship, watching. Couple of the mercs called him by name, but he never spoke to them. Never spoke to anyone. I had a really bad feeling about him, so I got the hell out. Didn't even wait to get paid.
What kind of cargo was the freighter carrying? What was Saren after?
I don't know. All I saw on that ship was food and medical supplies. There were some basic weapons, but nothing big. If there was anything of value on that ship, I didn't see it. That's why I didn't mention it sooner.
Whose ship was it?
There was a Volus trading vessel. Big one. Lots of guards. But they were no match for us.
That's the only time you saw him?
Yeah. Didn't even know who he was. Still wouldn't if I hadn't joined up with you. But my instincts were right. Every other merc on that mission turned up dead within a week. Every damn one.
Ya veo, cara.
So long, Rex.
Gracias por el chisme.
Shepard.
What's up?
Commander, you have a minute to talk.
Claro que sí.
I keep an open door policy. If you have any concerns, lay them on me.
All right. I know things are different aboard the Normandy, but I'm concerned about the aliens, Vicarian and Rex. With all due respect, Commander, should they have full access to the ship?
They may not serve the Alliance, Chief, but they're allies. At least as far as Saren goes.
This is the most advanced ship in the Alliance Navy. I don't think we should give them free rein to poke around the vital systems. Engines, sensors, weapons.
A ver.
That's enough, Chief. You always second-guess your superiors?
Sir! No, sir! I'm sorry, I was out of line. I'll get back to my duties, Commander.
Ah, la rescaté. Pero bueno. A ver. Tengo bastantes armas que no me sirven, ¿verdad? Yo creo, ¿qué onda?
Commander?
¿Qué tal nos va?
What's your opinion on the last
Yo
mission?
creo que la cagué con el anterior
Not
diálogo.
sure I'd buy Dr. Tassoni's story about her and her mom not talking. They're family, right?
I think she's being straight with us. Or at least, I don't think she lies very often.
Voy a ver el nombre,
Yeah,
pues.
she's probably really bad at it. Too bad those ruins got destroyed. I mean, they lasted thousands of years. That's impressive.
Do you have a few minutes to talk one-on-one?
I'm sorry, Commander. I need to get my duties squared away. I wouldn't mind talking more later, though.
¡Madre, madre!
Dismissed, Chief.
No, mejor. Así.
Sir,
Me voy a cortar las venas en el baño. Chingue su madre, ¿desde dónde lo puedo cargar? ¡No! Voy a perder 14 minutos de buen diálogo. Examinar, puta madre, más mierda, cabrón. Yo no quiero leer.
Oh, hello, Shepard.
¡Lo que me faltaba! No, ahorita no.
Are you okay?
I don't know. Your ship is amazing, and your crew's been really great to me, especially your chief engineer. But I just sort of feel out of place. The Normandy runs so smooth it feels like we're not even moving, and the engines are so quiet. How do you sleep at night?
¿Eh? ¿Eh?
The silence wakes you up?
Back on the flotilla, the last thing you want to hear is silence. It means an engine's died or an air filter shut down. I guess you don't have to worry about that here. But old habits die hard. But it's more than just the silence. This ship feels so empty. It's like half the crew is missing. Back home, I couldn't wait to go on my pilgrimage. I couldn't wait to get away from the crowds. Now that I'm out here, I kind of miss them.
Sometimes we don't appreciate what we have until it's gone.
That's true. I'm starting to wonder if that's what the pilgrimage is really about. It's given me a whole new perspective on my people and our culture. You know, there's always a few who go on their pilgrimages and never return. I always assumed something bad happened to them. But maybe they just wanted a different life.
Muy bien, esto ya lo investigué todo.
You do plan to return to the migrant fleet, right?
I could never abandon my people, Shepherd. I will go back eventually. But we have to stop Seren first. Otherwise, I might not have a home to go back to.
Yet. Dios.
I should go.
See you later.
Aquí donde están los baños. Consígame una cuerda, capitán. Y una banca. Ah, pasa una pistola silenciosa ya, más rápido. ¡Ta madre! Voy a ir para arriba de una vez. Consígame una cuerda. Y uno sigue, carnal, y un lugar donde se pueda amarrar una cuerda bien, donde no se caiga. Manches, cagué el puto diálogo. Verga. No me voy a la mierda. Después lo voy a reintentar. A ver, bueno, el puto diálogo perdería un montón de mierda. Tendría que hacer un montón. Yo creo que con una simple de estas acciones puedes echar toda la mierda. Así que bueno, yo creo que ya lo eché a la mierda. Me voy a acuertar al menos. Ah, me dieron códice, me da flojera, no lo voy a leer, me voy a chorizo. Partida guardia 18, guardaron contenido, no apagues your console, guardado con éxito. También no le di cargar, va como idiota. Bueno, si le doy cargar a mí no me... 43. Ya, me voy al chorizo.